Hey, welcome to your Virgo horoscopes for the week of January 28th through February 3rd. And we are kicking off the week with the moon in two separate grand trines. We ended last week with the moon creating one of these grand trines, and now we're moving into two, one on top of the other one, which is awesome. The first one is with Jupiter and Venus, which it was basically yesterday. And then as we move into Monday, the grand trine with Venus, Mars, and Mercury continues into the second day. So we've got 2 days of moon action that's creating a lot of magic. Now it is also moving into opposition with Saturn as well, which is creating a little bit of a challenge also. So we're going to start really focused on these first couple of days, which is really going to, in my mind, put you in the right mindset and energy to slide into the rest of the week, if that makes sense. Focus is on those you love. Mercury and Mars are focused on long-term, well, basically the two grand trines are really focused on long-term financial goals, while really paying attention to making sure that you're breaking bad habits from the past around your long-term financial goals. Because of course you don't want to take bad habits into new habits. If you want success, you have to let go of the things that don't work anymore and start implementing things that do. And that's just kind of how it is. Now, the moon's opposition with Saturn does make it a little bit tricky because Saturn is moving into focus on career, and Saturn really is the quintessential leadership planet. So with the moon being focused on those you love, it does feel a little bit like your responsibilities to your family might be an issue in terms of moving into this leadership role that just might help you with your financial goals. It's one of those tough decisions that we all have to make, but we have to make them. And in many cases, a lot of times making the best decision for you is making the best decision for your family as well. But there's always sacrifices there. And I think that's what makes these decisions so difficult, if that makes sense. But the energy is ripe, really, for a lot of really good things to happen there with these two grand trines sort of sitting on top of each other. So the opposition just creates a little bit of an emotional complication. That's all it really does. It's not saying this is standing in your way and you can't move it. It's just saying, yes, there's all these great things, these great opportunities that are opening up. The complication is always making the decision that's best for you and for everybody. As we get out of the moon being in Virgo, because it's really happening Sunday and Monday, and that's it, things sort of calm down. There's no other planets in Virgo. Juno is still in Virgo and is still retrograde this week. We still have the dark moon kind of sort of, trying to force you into making changes. But how do you make changes within the realm of those you love? I mean, this is a house that really represents the people that are closest to you. And, there are some instances where your family members are just not good for you. And I do get that. But in terms of, I guess what I'm trying to say here is that this is not about changing those people, swapping out your brother or your sister for a new model or something like that. It's more about changing the way you converse with them, the way you mesh with them, the amount of things you're willing to put up with from them, if that makes sense. Boundaries are a part of this. In many cases, we get stuck in communication patterns with the people that we love. Virgos, I think, are no exception to that. But not just that, being ruled by the planet of communication, Mercury, probably even more difficult for you guys, to be honest with you. So we tend to get into these communication patterns with our family. And if we tend to have difficult conversations with them, we always prepare ourselves in the exact same way. And the conversation always goes in the exact same direction. And it usually ends with the two not being able to actually make a decision together. So I feel that this week's focus really is on maybe exploring different ways of communicating with these particular individuals so that maybe if you communicate differently, it will invite them to communicate differently, and you can reach a better conclusion that way than continuing to present it in the same way, which both sides will continue to do, if that makes sense. Definitely helps to just get through whatever it is that you need to get through so you can move on to focusing on the other important things in your life, which are Virgos. So I'm sure there's many of them, right? So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation to my coffee link, which is down there in the description. Love the coffees. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate that. Also, take a look at my website. You can book time there. You can check out the membership options there. You can check out the calendar. Events will be added at some point this week for February, and you don't want to miss those. I have some reading nights coming up and just all kinds of cool stuff that I am going to be placing on that calendar, and you don't want to miss it. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Sidekick. I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, you guys make it a great week. I mean, seriously, it's all set up for you to have a great week. You just got to put in the work to make it a great week. And I know you can. I will see you guys next week.